welcome to an Everyday Canines video. In this episode on running contacts, we're looking at some advanced handling techniques that you will be expected to do at higher levels after the dog walk. So we've done a lot where we're going straight off and turns, which some people would argue turns are relatively advanced, certainly some of the difficult ones. But there are some further handling options that you will see at higher levels. So I would say once you start to get to grades 6 and 7, certainly when you're getting into things like champ level or qualifiers for big events, that's when you start to see these sorts of moves. Now, before you jump into these, you need to make sure your basic running contact is sound, because once you start doing something like this, it's liable to start interfering with your original running contact unless your dog's got a lot of confidence and you keep reinforcing the straight run through. What I mean by that, if our dog is used to powering down the line and going straight over a jump, that's a full stretched out motion. You're doing everything extension. But a lot of the moves we're now going to do are going to require our dog to turn back over a jump or maybe turn towards us over a jump. When we get moves like that, the dog is going to be in collection. So it's going to have to slow down for this move because it cannot do it powering. It has to slow down to make these turns. If our dog is not sound and confident with their normal running contact, then what we can see happening is that when we ask for a normal straightforward run, they start to collect and they slow up or they question it. So we want to make sure there's been lots of value and reinforcement for a straight running contact, because to be fair, that's probably the one you're going to see the most of. And then we'll start introducing these more complicated maneuvers. Now, what sort of maneuvers do we start with? There's lots here. Think of any sort of handling you can get on a jump. We can then add it to the end. So where do we begin? Well, I'm going to start with some push rounds around the backs, backsides. The reason being, I do see these in courses quite a lot. In fact, I would say this is probably one of the most frequent alternative handling I see at the end of a dog walk at higher levels, compared to some other moves which I will show you later. It's also one that's quite nice in the sense that it will allow the dog to keep driving and turning further. If we jump straight into things like wing wraps after a dog walk, they will definitely start to knock back your straight runs unless you're really clear on them, because the dog starts to question what it's doing. So we're going to look at these because honestly these are what I see the most often, and then we'll look at other alternatives. So around the back after a dog walk, this is a basic one. What I would say is a commonest one. There are other versions and we will look at those. So our dog is coming down the dog walk and they've got to go to the back of this jump instead of taking it straight on. And maybe they've got to come here and go away on that line, or maybe they've got to come over and then turn again to go over here. This makes it a backside, but of the jump, because they're going to the back. But there are various ways of handling this, and it will depend on where the handler is. When I'm on the same side as my dog in the way they need to do the backside, so I can go with them and follow the turn exactly like them, except I'm not going to go around the back. That is what we usually call a round the back, push round, backside. For me, that is my Viva cue. If they're going over and straight. If they're turning tight and coming back towards me, it's my wrap cue. I just want to point that out because, and we aren't going to go into this too depth, but if the dog was coming down, the dog was on this side and we were effectively the wrong side of the jump, we can't now turn, we could, we're across, but we can't. Then this would be a different move. This is either what people call a pull-in, Freddle. That's a different manoeuvre because the dog's in a different position. So we're not talking about these moves where the dog has to push away from us. We're talking about backside turns where the dog is moving with us. First things first, your dog must know how to do this on a jump on its own. This must be something they understand and they know. You can't expect them to then add in a dog walk if they do not know how to do around the back. So they need to be able to do this. Now, whether they're capable of doing this on purely verbal and can do it at a distance, or whether you have to be there and handle it, depends much on your handling style and how fast you are as a handler. Not forgetting that the dog walk is a very fast obstacle with running contacts. When the dog starts powering down there, they hit the power button, they go. You're now having to beat a dog down a straight line. It's not easy, even for fast handlers. If your handling for around the back is all body based, so you have to use your arm signals to do it, you perhaps need to be here to push them. This could be causing you problems unless you somehow manage to get ahead of your dog further back, which can happen. So the other way we're looking at this is to be able to do it on a verbal cue. We're still going to be using our arms, but we'll ask the dog to do it on a verbal cue alone and hope that they can learn to do it independently. So I always aim to teach these things to be as independent as possible at a distance. We're always still learning and we can all make mistakes, but that's the ultimate goal. Looking at our setup, my jump is not flush with my dog walk. I've set it so that when the dog comes down, they are looking past that wing. If they ran in a straight line, they would go straight past this wing. This is how we're starting off to make it easier for the dog to do. If the jump was straight slap bang full on, and then we ask them to do their roundabout cue, that is very hard because the dog is so programmed to do the straight on. It's hard even when, you're on an ordinary course. So we're making it a little bit easier by moving to the side, because this is effectively a brand new behaviour. They might be able to do this when there's just jumps, but they haven't combined it with a dog walk. So it's a whole new criteria we're asking. So what we want to do, we're going to work just on our lower plank first, and we're going to ask our dog to come round. Now, instead of cueing go, we want to cue our backside cue. So normally if I'm doing a straight on, it's run, go. Go means put the power on and head over the next obstacle. I don't usually add in an extra jump or go cue when there's just a jump. That means if I'm saying go, perhaps it's on a finish, I want you to power down, take that jump and finish. But I can't say that when I want them to do something like this. So what I now need to do is tell them run, and then as they're coming towards the middle, I'm going to start telling them my backside cue, which is viva, viva, if they're turning long. If they're turning tight back towards me, it's going to be rap, rap. So it's important that I also think about the placement of my reward because I've got those two cues. So if I reward viva, viva here, I've effectively rewarded a tight turn. If I do that too much, my dog will stop slicing and going over. Viva means you take this jump and you power on. There might be another tunnel, say, over there, and I want you to take that obstacle and power on. Viva would mean rap, rap would mean you were turning and coming straight back at me. We're going to start by teaching this just on the down plank, and then we're going to advance it slowly till we can add in a full dog walk and have the dog doing it independently, and then we're going to increase further challenges. So we're going to start by working this, taking the pressure off our running contact, because we're going to have the dog starting here. And now remember, we're going to have to be focusing also on our running contact criteria all through this exercise. So that's two things the handler's got to work on. They've got to think about that, and they've got to think about their running contact. Okay, ready? Viva, 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 viva. Get it? So that was nice. Nicely independent. Good girl. So that's where you would start. And you're going to do that until your dog's confidently doing it. Now, because we want to retain the drive, I would do one day do a session of this. The next time you come to do a session, straight. And mix it up, because we want to concentrate on that. So we're going to take Swift a little bit further back. Viva, 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 viva. Good girl. I was a bit slow on my word, and it wasn't a go. So she looked. So this time I'm going to give her an okay, which is a break word, and then ask her to viva. Okay, viva, 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 viva. And you see she picked up, good girl. Picked up and went straight over. Okay, viva, 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 viva. Needs the arm. So this is the thing you're going to get. This is good girl. The dog is so programmed to go straight over, this is what you're going to get. And to be honest with you, good girl. We're still in the process of training this to be to a level where I would be confident of doing it when the jump is flush on. But you know, this shows you what can go wrong. I'm going to work this level for a bit longer, and you notice because I want this to be independent, I'm not going up to that jump with her. I'm trying to do it independent. We stood away. Okay, viva, 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 viva. Nice. I can still see she's looking when I'm asking that. She's still going, where do you want me to go? So that's how I know she's not there yet. Good girl. I want her to be going straight down confidently, and she's heard that cue and she knows what I want. I'm going to start her a little bit further back to give me more time to get the correct cue in. Okay, viva, 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 viva. Still a little bit of a head check. She was looking where my arm was. Good girl, she just checked that arm. So that tells me we need to do a bit more work on the independence on that cue. Okay, ready? We'll be here this time. Okay, viva, 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 viva. Now you can see she's getting there, going down. Yes, she's still checking, but we're getting that straight going. Now, good girl. Now I've done a lot of them, so my next session I do straight overs. Good girl. How are we going to progress this? Well, obviously we're going to progress this so that she can do the whole dog walk with this at the end. We're obviously going to work at both sides. I've got it set up just on as a right turn, but we're obviously going to do it both sides. Now, as we make it more challenging, we're going to start bringing this jump further and further over. So we're going to start by placing it so it's about square. This part is square with the middle of the jump. So now they've got to start actually changing their line to achieve this. Now, how hard are you liable to get in a competition? How long's a piece of string? I would like to aim to go for the ultimate hardest, which would mean having the jump right slap bang in the middle. Now, I'm not sure we're going to get this because this is moved and it is tricky. Okay, viva, 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 viva. Yes, good girl. Now, I think she was actually more confident with that moved over slightly. Good girl. So, we go a bit further in. Now, at this stage, we're starting to get to a point where we could actually say to ourselves, we might actually need to go straight over. Good girl. Because if we look at the dog's line, I'm facing flat on that wing. So all it takes is a slight turn and I could go straight over. Okay. But we've done a lot of patterning with this move. So we'll see what we get, won't we, lovely? Okay, viva, 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 viva. Very good choice. She was looking straight ahead, which was nice. Good girl. She had a jump to focus on, so that helped. And she also thought a lot about that contact. Now, the hardest level is about here, where the dog walk is slap bang in the middle just about of your jump. So this does look like a straight. Are you going to see that in competition? You might do. As long as there's enough room for the dog to run off straight, you could. It's not the nicest of lines because the dog's got to come like this. But I say, if there was plenty of distance, this is set at 5 meters. But if you set it up further, definitely you could. That's one thing I should have said. Do start close and work back. So start at 5 meters, then extend the distance. Okay, viva, 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 viva. You are awesome. Good girl. Now that she had to use her verbal cue. Good girl. And that was pretty awesome. You're a superstar, aren't you? Good girl. So that's what I'm going to call round the backs 1. Because there's another sort of round the back I want to show you in the next video. But start on this one and then we'll look at the other ones. So I hope you've enjoyed this Everyday Canines video, and if you have, you might like to check out the YouTube channel and you can subscribe to us and you can click on the bell icon. That will notify you when new videos are out, and you can also find us on Facebook and Instagram, and I hope to see you all again very, very soon.